Adventure is waiting for you at Nashville Zoo's newest destination, Leopard Forest. Explore 4 lush habitats filled with towering trees, winding vines, and natural beauty designed to make you feel like you've stepped into the heart of the wild. Encounter the critically endangered Amur leopard. Say hello to Dabrasis monkeys, klipspringers, and colobus monkeys. And don't miss the return of the zoo's most iconic stars, the Maasai giraffes. Bring the family or bring a friend. Nashville Zoo's Leopard Forest is now open. Today on CityCast Nashville, why isn't Nashville a sanctuary city? Councilmember Sandra Sepulveda joins us to clarify what being a sanctuary city really means and what it doesn't. We also discuss the new Tennessee law making it a felony for officials to adopt or maintain sanctuary policies, and why a Nashville soccer supporters group used their voice to take a stand. It's Wednesday, June 25th. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. What exactly is a sanctuary city?
It's a city that refuses to coordinate or collaborate with federal agencies when it comes to deporting, detaining, giving information in regards to people who are undocumented.
There seems like to be so much confusion around this right now, especially with my friends who have been talking about it. So can you help clarify what a sanctuary city isn't?
Nashville, to get to the bottom of it. The rhetoric lately has been that Nashville has been this place where we are just doing things that we're not legally able to do, right? The state of Tennessee preempted us a while ago in regards to us declaring ourselves a sanctuary city. So we can't even do that. The city of Nashville, the administration, we have certain obligations that we are required to do by law. And I think that the other side, the Republicans at the state ledge, and our new unpopular, maybe he was always the most unpopular congressman, keep saying that we are going about our daily work in a illegal fashion, which we're not. It's all very complicated. Immigration policy is complicated to begin with.
My assumption coming into this year, I thought sanctuary cities actually shielded immigrants from deportation. Is that true?
It is true. We see certain cities that have declared themselves sanctuary cities, like Chicago, different cities in California.
Yeah, they seem powerless.
Yeah, they still have mass deportations that are happening. We used to know how ICE operated before this administration came into office. But now it seems like all of the laws have just gone out the window.
Yeah, what has changed?
Everything. Everything has changed. People are scared. Honestly, people are scared. There are people who have visas, who are residents, even U.S. citizens that are being detained by ICE. These are not normal times. People are afraid to go to the grocery store. People aren't calling in to the police department when they are experiencing emergency situations, right? We just had a young child that died a couple of weeks ago in another county in Tennessee because their parent was too afraid to call 911.
And we're seeing elected officials in California and New York being arrested by ICE as well. I'd like to talk about what's happening here in Tennessee. Even though sanctuary cities are already illegal here, there's a new state law that passed this year making it a felony for local officials to adopt or maintain sanctuary policies. And this law goes into effect July 1st. What is a sanctuary policy?
It's written in a way where it could be pretty much whatever they deem fit.
Is it meant to be like that? To have such gray area to be interpreted?
Yeah, it's always meant to be that way. And this sets a very bad precedent, right? When the state of Tennessee reaches into local municipalities and says, if you vote this way, then we're going to prosecute you and you could spend up to 6 years in jail. That's crazy. That's crazy for a state legislature that has for years throughout several administrations said that they don't like big government and they don't like overreach. They sure do like overreaching. It's a dangerous time. And at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is represent our constituents, you know? When I ran for office, all I wanted to do was help the neighborhood I've lived in since I was 5. Not that I was going to be working on expanding the sidewalk networks and more funding for schools and, you know, worker protection. But damn, I didn't think I was going to. I just wanted to serve my community, not be put in jail for it.
And so now, is this law changing how you work as a council member?
Certain precautions are being taken. But as far as legislation goes, I mean, things have continued as usual. We are, and I say we, I mean, the Immigrant Caucus is currently looking at legal options. And we said this in a press release once this law was passed. We do plan on, you know, taking this to court. It's not right. But as far as how things have changed, I post my locations a lot less or after the fact. After that incident with the ICE agent, the following day, I want to say, that same agent was outside of where I live in a car. When I came back around, they were gone. But the possibility of, you know, people knowing like where you're at, that's not the safest, right? And what we've been seeing these past couple of days with the murder of the Minnesota legislator is that people will target you. And so I'm not new to having racist comments flung at me and things like that, but now I have to take things a little bit more seriously.
Could we just go back real quick? I would love for you to explain actually your incident with ICE for our listeners who missed that.
So that morning, I received a message from someone at the Remix saying that ICE agents were in a place in my district. And so I went over and I got there within a few minutes, but they were already gone. As I was driving out, I saw one of the vans from the day before. So I followed the van, and the van took me to the police precinct. And at some point, 2 of my constituents came and sat in the parking lot with me. And one of my constituents took pictures of the agent, and that seemed to set him off, right? He really did not like that. He got out of the van, got very agitated, and then took off. So we followed him, and then he started driving erratically in one of the dead-end streets nearby. And unluckily for them, my car's a little bit smaller, and it maneuvers quite well. My car turns on a dime, and he couldn't lose me, which set him off, and he brake checked me a couple of times. I finally peeled off once my phone died because I didn't have enough battery, and I just didn't feel safe.
And it's not illegal to follow an ICE agent, correct?
It's not, but they just seem to be arresting you for anything these days, right? If you ask for a warrant, bam, you're arrested. You're taken into ICE custody, right? So where's the line? Where are the laws? No one's been interfering. We've been documenting, and we've been sending out information. I really think that years from now, all of what we need to be able to point back to is everything that's been documented these past weeks and months. We have to document it. It's not right. Things are happening outside. Illegal things. People are being kidnapped. People are going missing. Loved ones don't know where to find their family members. People are being terrorized. And it's not just people who are undocumented. There are U.S. citizens who are going through this just because they're brown. I mean, like, that's messed up for this entire country that's supposed to be a country that's welcoming and
founded by immigrants.
You know, it's never been that really, you know, welcoming to immigrants in general, but damn.
You represent District 30. Give us an idea of what your neighborhood looks like and the people that live there.
I've lived here since I was 5, right? So I went to public school here. My elementary school that I went to is actually in my district. And the person that was my crossing guard back in the day, she still lives there. A lot of people that I went to school with are still here. It is one of the, if not the most diverse district in the entire county with the largest Latino population. It's just a community with multi-generational households. I don't know. It's just home. It's home. That's what it is.
You talked about your choice to respond to messages from the remix to go observe the ICE actions in May. What responses have you gotten from your community as a result of that?
There have been a lot of people who have reached out asking, what else can they do? What more can they do? For my constituents to see my Facebook Live, hop in their vehicles and like come to where I was. Everyone is trying to figure this out and trying to protect one another. That's something that gives me hope. It's tiring as hell, this type of work, but that gives me some hope.
Have you gotten any pushback from people outside of your district?
I think there were some comments on some emails, some messages. The thing is, I'm a bit of a menace and I'm trying to calm down because I will respond to trolls sometimes. I don't know. I just decided a long time ago that bigots, racist, these people weren't going to live in peace around me.
We have to talk about Andy Ogles, Congressman Andy Ogles.
The snowflake?
You were called out. Yeah. You were called out directly by him in one of his tweets calling for an investigation of Mayor O'Connell and other Nashville local officials in the wake of the ICE detentions. Did you ever expect to get called out by federal officials for your work on Metro Council? Was that on your bingo card for this year?
Nah, I don't even think about Andy Ogles, so I wasn't even thinking about that man.
He doesn't take up space in your brain. Yeah.
No. But apparently we live rent free. But when I first heard, I was like, I feel like he has better things to be worried about, like his own FBI investigation into all of his dealings. Like, I feel like he has some things he should be focused on, not what I'm doing over here in my district. But like, what do I know?
So are you scared at all?
I don't know what he's talking about. Like, I'm trying to understand, but that man, I don't even think he understands what he's saying. All of this is just political posturing. He's trying to create this image of him as he goes into his next election cycle because he knows he's vulnerable. Not even his own colleagues like him. So yeah, he's going to try and find some way to get some clout. But like, he could actually do something for Tennesseans. But, you know, that's not what he's about. He's about, I guess, breaking laws and encouraging federal agencies to break laws. I guess that's what Andy Ogles stands for.
All right, we're going to shift gears, but this also feels very much like part of the same conversation. You're a huge soccer fan and a member of Nashville Soccer Club supporters group La Brigada De Oro. Can you tell us about this supporters group and what makes this one so special?
I first joined La Brigada De Oro early on as the first NSC season started. You know, I was just looking for something to do outside of politics, right? Because when your day job and the night job are politics, then it takes up a lot of space, right? And I went to a watch party for La Brigada that was actually in my district. So that was pretty cool and convenient. And it's mainly been Latino-led, co-founded by Abel. You all have probably heard some of his recent interviews in these past couple of days, but as the years have gone on, so many different groups of people have joined it. And the first time I went, it reminded me so much of my family. They were just like them. And maybe it's because Abel's from New Jersey, but my family were Chicanos. And so he reminded me of that. His wife, Gabby, she's just the sweetest. They are some of the best people I know. And they're so giving. That's the thing about it. They are so giving, and they just have a passion for this team and for the community. And I've been a part of it ever since.
And y'all decided not to attend the games during the ice raids in May. And this got national attention after your fellow supporters group held up a banner at the May 10th game that read, "We are not all here."
There were, not all of the members are undocumented, but there were certainly quite a few who were, fearful for a while about what all of this would look like eventually. And once the ice raids started at the level that they were going, the members just did not feel comfortable being there and did not feel safe. Even Abel said, how are we going to party and celebrate? Because our tailgates are quite a thing, right? We usually have a DJ and food and all of that stuff. But how are we going to do all of that while this is happening to the community? And so they decided not to attend the games for the foreseeable future. This hit us personally, as a group. So it wasn't just what we were seeing in the community. We saw it within our own membership and needing to protect and, I guess, at the end of the day, make a stand.
Will you be going back?
We actually went back this last game once things had calmed down a little bit. We even had a cake saying we were back. It was good. It was good to see everyone again. I stayed home until everyone came out of solidarity. And, I think it was important for me to be there at the first tailgate back as well, just in case anything did happen. But, it's a little disappointing not hearing a official response from the NSC team.
I was going to ask, yeah.
Yeah.
So there hasn't been an official response.
No, and it's
just empty seats.
Just empty seats. And it's fucked up, At the end of the day, it's fucked up because we know that so many community members go and watch NSC and participate at different levels. Ask yourself why there's even Spanish written at the stadium and certain types of food at the stadium. It's to draw in a specific crowd, right? And even LAFC said something. So it's not that MLS is preventing you from saying something at the end of the day, which had been the argument, right? You could say something and they haven't.
What were you doing when you weren't at the games?
I've taken up darts.
Ooh. That helps with the rage as well.
Right. I have taken
cool.
up
Tell
darts.
us about your darts.
I am trying to be the best dart player, just visiting different local places here and there.
Did any of the members take care of each other outside of the game during this time?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They asked in our group chats, let me know if anyone needs a ride or if anyone needs food to be picked up, groceries. Immediately once the raid started, they went into action, just taking care of each other, reaching out and figuring out who needed what, who needed help. That's who they are.
Geodis began hosting Club World Cup matches last Friday, with teams from all over the world coming to Nashville. However, ICE announced they would be providing security at the first tournament match in Miami and implied that everyone would need to bring proof of citizenship to the games. Will you be attending any of the Club World Cup matches here?
I'm not sure. I don't know yet. One of the games I wanted to catch was obviously one that will be in September, Mexico versus South Korea. But I don't know what type of security ICE is trying to provide when they don't have the training for any of this. And I really question what these locations where all of these games will be held, what they're going to do to protect people who are spending their money. I think there's several people that need to take a hard look at what they're doing, right? I was thinking the other day about the downtown businesses, right? And the construction sites and all of these developers. What are you going to do when your workers are gone, right? In those kitchens, in those bars. Come on, like Kid Rock had to shut down because his workers weren't coming. All of the construction that's going on in this city, like, what are you going to do, developers, when they start raiding your construction sites? This is so much bigger, and people need to like zoom out and figure this out.
So last year we had the opportunity to interview soccer reporter Valir Shabila. It was a great interview. I highly recommend listeners to go back and listen to it. But he explained how important soccer was to his immigrant journey to the United States and how it helped him connect to his new life in Nashville. It was almost like his common language among other people that he met. Is there a connection between sports and the idea of sanctuary in a community?
Yes. And I'll say this just as a side note, funny story. We actually went to high school together, but soccer brings an entire community together, right? It's a universal language. You don't have to be from the same place, speak the same language to understand this sport that is played around the world. This is why so many countries who don't have a whole lot of resources, soccer is just easy, right? You pick it up, it changes people's lives, and it creates something to rally around. And in some cases, for people like me to find something outside of the bad. You see immigrants, people who are wealthy, people who come from neighborhoods who don't have a lot, and you see so many people from different walks of life coming together to celebrate this sport, to cheer for these teams. And when you hear people who don't speak Spanish learning the chants in Spanish for the soccer team, I'm like, how can you not be romantic about all of this?
Outside of all the headlines and the politicians making accusations, how do you feel about the way the people of Nashville are keeping each other safe right now?
I think that we're trying the best we can. Is there more we can do? Yes, there's always more that we can do. But the amount of people who have reached out just wanting to figure out ways to get plugged in just speaks to the spirit of the city. And no matter which politicians are trying to overreach and say that Nashville is something that it isn't, Nashvillians are, coming together and rallying around each other and trying to protect each other. And those few people who are being negative, they're not the majority. I think we need to remind ourselves of that at the end of the day.
Thank you, Councilmember Sepulveda, for joining us today. This really has been a great conversation. And hey, maybe I'll see you at a soccer game coming up. I've been to one. Maybe I'll go to two. All right.
Hey,
thank you.
Thank you.
That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Doodles!